good, everyone? It's Steve from Sneaker Tech Talk, back with another video today. For today's video, we will be taking a look at the performance review of the Nike Sabrina 2. Alright, so as always, starting with the traction pattern at the bottom of the Sabrina 2. At the back of the shoe, you kind of have this round kind of traction pattern with these little lines running throughout. And then in the forefoot, you do have a kind of traditional herringbone traction pattern. Now this rubber compound is semi-translucent. I wouldn't say it's completely see-through, but it does kind of have this iridescent look. And how this traction performs on clean floors is amazing. Like, it's a solid 10 out of 10. Now on dirty floors, you will have to wipe every like 5 or 6 plays, but it's really not an issue at all. I didn't really have any slide outs at all in the Sabrina 2. My only gripe with this traction pattern is honestly the durability. Now this is my second Sabrina 2. I will get into that fiasco in a few minutes, but as far as the durability, the little S's that do wrap around the traction pattern are wearing away very quickly. And then the overall herringbone traction pattern, after like 6 hours with this pair, you can see a lot of wear and tear, even just from indoor use here on the medial side. So that is something to note. But overall, as far as stopping ability, very squeaky as far as sound goes. Like, these things screech on court. I think these are absolutely superb. More or less the exact same performance as last year's Sabrina 1s, and that's why these are going to score a very solid 9.5 out of 10. So as far as the cushioning setup goes, last year they did have React foam within the Sabrina 1s. With this shoe right here, I do have some photos that do show that the kind of lighter purple foam compound is Cushlon 2.0, and then the darker stuff is Cushlon 3.0, and then directly under your foot on the footbed is Cushlon 3.0. It's a very plush ride. I do find React a little bit more dense, very bouncy still, but it's just a little bit more dense, whereas Cushlon 3.0 is super plush. I think it's one of the closest feeling foam compounds to Zoom Air. And then in the forefoot, you have a large volume Zoom airbag directly under your foot. It is top loaded, and for me it was very springy. I know some people have said it has felt dead or they can't feel it at all. I'm 6'2", 6'2.5", 215 pounds. I can definitely feel the Zoom Air in the forefoot of this basketball shoe. But overall, I really enjoyed the cushion setup in the Sabrina 2 just a little bit more than the Sabrina 1s, because the overall cushion setup with that Cushlon 2.0 and 3.0 running throughout the shoe is superb. More or less, you're getting a very close to the feeling cushion setup at the front of the shoe while having a little bit more impact protection at the back. A very balanced ride. I can't stress that enough. I think players 1 through 5 could play in this shoe and enjoy it, even in the cushioning department. And I just think it's such a balanced ride that I really enjoy this setup right here. You're not getting any caging at the back of the shoe as far as that exposed foam. I just really enjoyed the cushioning setup, and that's why these are going to score a very nice 9.5 out of 10. I know most of the time I do score a very high cushioning setup with Nike basketball shoes. It has like full length Zoom Air or just a crazy setup like the GT Hustle 3s. But with this setup right here, I just think it's so balanced, and a ton of play styles are going to be able to play in these, and that's why these get that score, because I just think that this is a very reliable shoe in the cushioning setup. As far as the fit goes, I went with my standard size 10.5 men's, 12 women's. That is one thing to note. You do have to convert your size, and so if you're a size 10.5, you got to go 1.5 sizes up to a 12 women's. One thing I will note is the forefoot is a lot more forgiving compared to the Sabrina 1s last year. I found my initial wear in those to be very snug in the forefoot. I do think this is a wider last, and then the material being screen mesh, it's just a lot more forgiving on foot. So a very snug 1-to-1 fitting basketball shoe. Honestly, these remind me of a Kobe. I know that's the elephant in the room. These look like Kobe 5s. But the overall fit, just kind of acting like a skin or sock on your foot, that is one thing I noticed, is when I was playing in these, I didn't even feel like I had a shoe on. And that's one of the best feelings when you are playing basketball, when you have a shoe that just kind of acts as a second skin on your foot. And that's what the Sabrina 2 did for me. So as far as the fit goes, honestly, in my opinion, I'm going to have to give these an amazing 10 out of 10. So as far as the materials go, you're not getting anything special at all, but it just works on foot. At the back of the shoe, you do have this screen mesh material. and that's running throughout the side panels right here and at the toe box. You don't have anything overly crazy here at the toe as far as durability. You kind of have this like it almost looks like glue, honestly, at the toe box, kind of offering some more durability. And then the side panels are a synthetic material, and then the tongue is a mesh material as well. At the top of the tongue, you do have a synthetic leather material. So really nothing special as far as the materials go, but as far as break-in time, honestly no break-in time at all. And just the overall durability so far, as far as the materials on the upper, have been great. So as far as the materials go, very breathable, very lightweight, and that's why they're going to score a very solid 8.5 out of 10. As far as the weight of this shoe right here, again, they did say they shaved some weight off. This is a US size 10.5 in men's, and these come in at 13.1 ounces. So all things considered, in my opinion, this is a very lightweight basketball shoe. As far as the support goes in this shoe right here, at the back of the shoe, you have an extremely rigid and sturdy heel counter, which does a great job of locking your foot in at the back of the shoe. I know a ton of people complain and say low tops have no ankle support. You are dead wrong. You get ankle support from having a very rigid heel counter and your proper size with a basketball shoe, offering a very snug one-to-one fit. That's where you get ankle support from, not from the height of the shoe at all. Moving your way down from that, you do kind of have these straps that do have flywire strands running throughout. There is 2 on the lateral side and 2 on the medial side, and they are connected to the eyelets right here. So when you really crank the laces down here at the midfoot, it does a fantastic job wrapping around your foot, kind of offering a seat belt like effect. Right here, your foot is also sitting housed within this forefoot kind of clip right here and this foam. And then at the bottom of the shoe here in the forefoot, you have a very wide and stable base with this outrigger right here. And then you also have I believe it's a top loaded shank plate here in the Sabrina 2s, but the overall torsional rigidity is really nothing special. And the forefoot flex, well, you're getting a ton of that. So it's more or less the same setup as the Sabrina ones from last year. So overall, a very nice supportive package. If you do want a more supportive midfoot in the Sabrina 2s, I would recommend throwing a Move insole in your basketball shoe and you'll be good to go. But keep in mind, the overall torsional rigidity is decent, but nothing special. So as far as the support goes, I'm gonna have to give these a decent 8.5 out of 10. So that's gonna do it for today's performance review on the Sabrina 2s. Do I like them? Yes. Now, I did have a very huge issue with my first pair that I actually returned to Foot Locker. I was on vacation in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I picked up a pair locally and I started playing in them right away. I shot around in them twice, like very light shoot arounds, to the point where I wasn't making any crazy movements at all. And then I did play about an hour of pickup in them. And I will throw a quick video up, but my left pair, the toe kind of like where the outsole wraps up, was completely peeling off. And I did not play long in them, like maybe 2.5 hours, and not overly hard at all. And for me, that's just a huge concern. And since that video on Instagram, I've had like 10 to 15 people send me photos of their pairs peeling as well. And it was not an isolated incident with just the left shoe. The right shoe was peeling as well. So I do think that is a major concern of quality control within Nike. This pair right here, I've played a lot harder with for about 8 hours, and I have no peeling at all. So that is one thing I will note. This pair is good. The last pair I did have to return. I didn't have any issues. And then another thing that's kind of an annoyance to me is this iridescent swoosh here. It is kind of peeling away already. It's all beat up and scratched. The iridescent effect is kind of gone as far as I'm concerned. So as far as the quality control with that toe issue, keep that in mind. I know Nightwing did mention, I think on his left pair, it was separating, the foam and the upper was separating. So keep that in mind. Take a look at your pairs. Nike has a great return policy. If you have any issues with your pair, definitely return them. But as far as the overall performance package of the Sabrina 2s, I love them. A superb traction setup. The cushioning is just so well balanced, I think, for any play style. The overall materials are pretty cheap, but they definitely get the job done. And the support package is great. The fit was superb as well. And you're getting it in a very lightweight packaged basketball shoe. I think Sabrina has one of the best basketball lines out right now, and I'm really excited to see what the future brings. And these are available on Nike by You as well, so keep that in mind if you want to make a pair. But like I said, that's going to do it for today's performance review on the Nike Sabrina 2s, something that I will be keeping in my gym bag for the foreseeable future, a superb basketball shoe. But as always, if you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, that definitely helps the channel a ton. And check out my Instagram over at Sneaker Tech Talk, as it is an extension of my YouTube channel with all my pickups, basketball footage, and nostalgia as a whole. As always, thanks for watching today's video, and until next time, peace.